So good morning, this is Hedrick here, Principal Horticulturist of Plant Visionz, and I'm going to be showing you how to repot a Cattleya that is struggling to do well today. So as you can see here, I've got a Cattleya that is doing or is actually struggling to survive. So how do you know whether a Cattleya is doing well is that the shoots here got to be fat and the leaves are got to be nice. And then after that, you can see that it's supposed to have nice, green little root tips. Okay, so down here we've got a good contrast of rotting roots. As you can see, it's very flat, it's dry, breaks off easily, and sometimes even you see strings that come out. So this is very typical of root rot, and this is what you find sometimes when you buy plants from Thailand or any other places that sells Cattleyas that is completely grown in coconut in an empty pot. Okay, but sometimes in the garden you get high humidity, you water it a lot, rot can happen. So today we're going to show you how to clean it up and let it grow well again and survive. Okay, so what we're going to do now is first of all I'm going to show you that what happens when you take the plant out of the pot. Okay, so this is the not clear, but the very high aeration pot, okay, which is for this media here, which is the coconut. As you can see, as I take out the orchid, okay, all these coconut bits are starting to fall out, because they've been here I don't know how long, but yeah, they're very loose. What you do is you just put it aside. Okay, you have to clear all this coconut away, because they may contain bacteria, they may contain a lot of fungus that could cause it to rot. So for me, you see, this section has already rot off, and that's why it comes off easily just by hand. Alright, so I always use by hand because I don't like to cut it in case I cut the wrong thing out. Okay, sometimes I even cut the new shoot. As you can see here, it's struggling to grow and do better. So this part here is actually doing pretty well. So you need to remove all the crap parts, just like unfortunately you got to amputate a leg if it's rotting. So this is how plants are as well. You got to take out all the bad parts. Now with secateurs, alright, some people say you use a flame to flame it. I just use bleach and just soak the thing in bleach. Because sometimes I repot a lot of plants, and that's the fastest way to do it. So what I'm going to do is use the secateurs. Okay, how do you know where to cut? So as you can see here, that these are sympodial orchids. They grow from the very small pseudobulbs here, which is connected to a bigger one, and then it grows on to the next, and the next, and the next. So when you want to repot an orchid, usually I will take off all these little bits because they are not useful anymore. Some people use secateurs, I use hands because I really want to know which are the good parts and which are the bad parts. Okay, so I'll just strip and strip and strip until you see almost an entirely bare rooted plant. As you can see here, these roots are healthy. Okay, they are white, they are hydrated, and they are fat. So this plant isn't too bad, and that's why they are able to grow another shoot here. Okay, but for repotting purposes, I usually try and remove as much of the media and also the roots as possible, because you want to encourage new root growth and get rid of anything that's not doing well. Okay, so I can see I can just use my fingers and just strip them out. Okay, don't worry about breaking the roots, they will grow again. So now, this is of course obviously dead. You just take it out again. So how do I try and separate a plant like this? Of course you take out some more dead parts, and look here, you see, this is one pseudobulb, the main one, and it splits up somewhere into two parts. Okay, so I'm going to split it up and see where we go. Okay, so this is connected to this pseudobulb. Well, it's not connected to, it is connected to another plant, another pseudobulb here. Okay, so this is connected to this, which is connected to this, and this, and then this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my secateurs, okay, and I'm going to have a very clean cut right here. Okay, so have a clean cut, and let's see what comes apart. As you can see here, see, it comes off very clean. You have another plant. So this pseudobulb connects here, here, and to here. Alright, and then what you do is, of course, some more media goes away, and then I just snip right across. Okay, this is how you do a division. Now, of course, the next one I can do the same. Okay, I'll do it more quickly now. You can also cut the roots off, cut all these bad parts off. Okay, once you're more familiar with it, you can just snip. Just don't snip the pseudobulb. You can snip a lot of the dead roots. You see, all these roots are useless. Okay, cut until almost botak. You know, botak means bald. It's also possible. Okay, and you can see here, this is quite a nice division. Alright, so yes. Next thing, how are you going to repot an orchid? First, you need a pot. Get a clean pot. Okay, best if you sterilize it with bleach. You can use clay, you can use plastic. It doesn't matter, it's just a personal preference. I don't have a preference. Sometimes I like clay because it's got all these nice holes in and it looks pretty good. And then after that, you get a wire which is, you know, it's got three spokes. Okay, and how do you do it is you just go to the end. I use the thumb and index finger rule. Okay, you do this, and then just bend so that everything's even. Spread it all out. Okay, like this, and then just bend the wires in. Okay, and then you just take your pot, string it up, bend it down, and you keep doing this. Okay, so now you've got your pot that's all set up for potting. Okay, see, nice and even. Then what you do is, because I use normal charcoal, I don't do anything else, but I just use normal charcoal. Okay, and then just pour it right in. You can see that just one handful, it's almost to the brim, it's about 3/4. And then I will put my plant division. As you can see, how you're going to do this repotting exercise is I usually take away this bulb that's really got no leaf and really small. So I will take it off by hand. And then I put this section here, which is the oldest pseudobulb, at the side. Okay, you can see it's from the side. Because why? You want it to give it maximum room for it to grow sideways. So I will fit it in here. And of course, you just take wire, okay, like this kind of cable tie. You can use twist tie, not cable tie, but use twist ties. I use telephone wire. You just cut it about, 3 inches. Okay, cut 3 of them. You just put it on the table here. First of all, okay, you always take the oldest pseudobulb, and then you give it a good twist. Okay, just give it a good twist. 1, 2, and then you just attach it to this wire. Give it a strong twist. That's it. Okay, you don't want it shaking. You don't want the plant to do this in the wind each time you water it. If not, it will never grow roots properly for you. Then also for this, sometimes 2 is enough. I always tie with the older pseudobulbs and never the young ones, because if you do that, you're going to constrict the growth of the pseudobulb, and therefore it will not flower at that pseudobulb. So actually, this is pretty much enough. Okay, make sure it's firm. You see it doesn't move when I shake it. Okay, and what else do? I just take charcoal and then fill it up to the top. Okay, and once you do this, come around here, I'll show you. So like I said, do not bury the plant. These are epiphytes. They actually grow on top of tree branches and tree trunks. So when we do our potting exercise, the orchid actually just sits on top of the charcoal. Okay, right now here I've got untreated sawdust. This I got from the sawmill a long while ago. You can also use sphagnum moss, or you can use cocoa chips. This is practically important for people who are growing on high rise where the wind is very strong. A lot of times when I meet people, they tell me, oh, why is my orchid dead? And it's like, which level or which story are you living at? If you're at the 5th story, 10th story, high wind, a lot of times the orchids just dry out. Okay, even if you give it lots of water, it's because it's very low in humidity. Orchids thrive on humidity. So what you do is you just take your things like, all this moist material. Okay, this is sawdust or cocoa chips, not peat, and sphagnum moss. All you do is just give it a thin layer, okay, right on top. Sometimes you can do half, sometimes you do all. I generally do all. because I don't water my plants every day. It's just once a day, and that's all you do. Simple as that. Okay, so why? Because on top, this media here hangs on to the moisture, and then whereas at the back it dries out. So therefore, when the wind blows, the humidity is still rising, and that is how you keep your orchids well. Okay, so now all you can do is just water and then hang it back where it was. So yeah, enjoy potting your orchids.